Hey guys, I've been asked to do a few of these problems here. These are the ones from the worksheet proportional relationships. Okay, so from the additional problems, proportional relationships. Part of the assignment was this part 15 through 25 here. So I'm just going to pick a couple, and if there's still more that you would like to see beyond that, just let me know based on what I show. So let's start with actually number 16. That's the one I'm going to do first. So 16 says, while baking, Evan discovered a recipe that required half cups of walnuts for every 2 1/4 cups of flour. How many cups of walnuts will he need for 4 cups of flour? So what we've got, this first situation here, is a ratio. So it's a recipe that requires half cup of walnuts for every, and let me put my paper up here so I can write and show you what I'm doing. All right, so basically we're looking at a ratio of 1/2, okay, cups of walnuts for every 2 1/4 cups of flour. So that's a ratio. It's a comparison of two things. This is always the case. Half a cup of walnuts for every 2 1/4 cups of flour. So there's a couple ways of looking at this. I can get the unit rate to figure out really how many cups of flour for 1 cup of walnuts. I can look at it that way, or vice versa. I can figure out how many cups of walnuts for every 1 cup of flour. So divide that out to get my unit rate. Or in this case, what I'm asked is I can look at it and say, well, it's asking me how many cups of walnuts. So really what I want to do is I want to figure out now how many cups. Let me lift this up so we can see the whole point here. How many cups of walnuts, so cups of walnuts, for what they want is 4 cups of flour. So I have a proportion is what I have. I have a proportion set up where I want to convert this to this. So I look and I say, okay, is there a quick, easy way to take 2 1/4 to make it 4? Can't quite just double it, right? That's not going to work. So when you have a proportion, I'm going to just write it with just the numbers. 1/2 over 2 1/4 equals, in this case, I'm going to call it X because I don't know what that is going to be on top. Let me rewrite this here so you can see it. 1/2 over 2 1/4 equals X over 4. So that's my proportion that I set up. So with the proportion, there's sometimes a nice, easy way to just multiply that number to get 4, and you can move on. But you can also do what we call cross multiplication when you have a proportion set up. What that means is I can sit here and I can multiply this X times the 2 1/4, and I can multiply the half times the 4 and set up an equation. So it sets itself up to where the equal sign stays, and I have 2 1/4 X is equal to 1/2 times 4, right? So at that point, I've got a nice little equation to solve for X. So 2 1/4 X is equal to 2. What does X have to be? Well, if I've got multiplication times my variable, I'm going to divide by 2 1/4. So divide both sides by 2 1/4. What is 2 divided by 2 1/4? This is where we're going to need to set this up. We're going to need to set this up as a improper fraction, right? So really we're saying 2 divided by, what is 2 1/4? 2 1/4 is the same as 9/4. Do you remember how to do that? 4 times 2 plus 1, right? 9/4. So 2 divided by 9/4. Remember, when we're dividing fractions, it's really multiplying by the reciprocal, the flip-flop. And when you multiply a whole number times a fraction, you put the whole number over 1, you can multiply straight across, and we get 8. ninths. So my answer is 8 ninths. So that's the number of cups of walnuts, 8 ninths cups of walnuts. Okay, so back all the way back up here, my answer is 8 ninths. 8 ninths cups of walnuts if I'm going to have 4 cups of flour. And that's how that problem is done. Okay.